In this video, I want to talk about the Bitcoin price. It's hitting new highs, and why is that? Because a lot of the time on social media, different outlets, I see a lot of kind of hype talk and just talking about the price and that it's going up, and not really any of the factors that are driving it up. And that's exactly what I want to talk about in this video. So as you can see, the price today on November 5th is just over $7,500. And I actually just got this shirt. Can you see it? I accept Bitcoin. And this is actually, if you check the graph on my t-shirt and on the screen, it's actually a pretty similar representation, even though this is the full kind of lifespan of Bitcoin. And this is the year. This is 1 year graph showing the increase, and there's a good reason for that increase, for those ups and downs, as it is a volatile market. But when we look at the overall, it is in the upwards trend. Whenever it comes down, it seems to go back up, and I believe that's because of the way that Bitcoin is structured, the decentralized nature, and you don't need any third parties to store or move information, which is obviously the beauty of it. So I'm Matt Sheriff, and let's talk about some of the factors that are driving up the price. And all of these websites that I'm going to show you are free. You can access them, and you can follow along after this video months down the line, and see the progression of things. So recently, big news, the CME Group, which is basically a trading group, have talked about initiating futures on their exchanges with Bitcoin. So this is actually a Chicago-based exchange, and they're basically going to be allowing the trading of Bitcoin on their site, which will allow for more volume, more trading, more circulation of Bitcoin, which is an awesome thing. So that's something which is going to drive the price up, I believe, once again, because this is a pretty big announcement from sort of a large centralized exchange that's been around for a while, and they are willing to bring Bitcoin on board and allow the people that use their exchange access into trading Bitcoin, which is going to be pretty huge, once again, for the whole ecosystem, and just legitimizing what Bitcoin is and the growth of it. So that's pretty cool. As it hit 7K, that news came into the headlines. And then obviously another big thing is the amount of people and companies, organizations, exchanges like the CME Group, accepting Bitcoin is always constantly on the rise. And over the last kind of 2.5 years since I've been in this industry, it's been really amazing to see how many people are adopting the cryptocurrency and allowing payments through Bitcoin and cryptos. So just some examples, I think we all know WordPress.com, Overstock, Subway, Microsoft, Virgin, Expedia, booking your flights, Wikipedia, Whole Foods, Bloomberg. There's over, I think, 100,000, 150,000 companies that accept Bitcoin, and that's absolutely huge, because the volume, the circulation of Bitcoin only allows it to grow more, because just like any currency, all it is community and trust. And once those two build, then ultimately people can use it for goods and services, and it becomes a legitimate form of exchange. And I can testify to that, as I've been living off it for a while now, buying meals, paying for my phone, paying for hotels, flights, all that good stuff, which you need to live, and Bitcoin has been doing that. So it's awesome to see. And then this was interesting too, actually. This week, Amazon, there's been rumors for the past 6 months that Amazon will be accepting Bitcoin, but there was rumors that they purchased 3 domains. You can kind of see them here as I highlight them. AmazonEthereum.com, AmazonCryptocurrency.com, and AmazonCryptocurrencies.com. That's obviously would be huge if Amazon accepted this, as they are one of the biggest companies in the world, and the e-commerce giant that they are would set a trend moving forward with cryptos, with payments, kind of being a leader once again to accept this. So there was actually an interesting spike in Bitcoin trading of US dollars when this news hit. As I mentioned, it's a sort of a rumor almost. There's no concrete evidence that Amazon will do this in the near future, but there are a lot of rumors, there are a lot of talk, and with the way that Amazon are built and being a lead kind of player, I can see it happening. So that'll be always interesting. So if you think what we're covering, we've got new updates of exchanges coming on board, the Chicago-based exchange, and that was just one example. There's a lot of different investment funds, a lot of different kind of governments and countries looking at Bitcoin. So the amount of influx of money that's coming into this and trading and circulation is growing and growing. The companies that already accept it, that are looking to accept it, is growing and growing, which only aids the ecosystem that Bitcoin is. And then, so I ran this just before I started the video, just to kind of show you. It's kind of an interesting website. This is fiatleak.com, and it basically documents the amount of fiat currency that's exchanging into Bitcoin all over the world. As you can see, the US dollar is the biggest player in the world when it comes to Bitcoin, but they do all different types of currencies, the Brazilian currency, etc., etc. It's been interesting, actually. I've known about this site for quite a few years, and China used to obviously be a big one, and I'm sure they will be into the future. I just think with the tightening of the regulations and the exchanges in China, the yen isn't trading into Bitcoin as much on this website. I'm not sure how accurate this is. I'm sure a lot of kind of local bitcoins.com and meetups and stuff are happening in China, as the Bitcoin and crypto community is absolutely huge. So this is just a quick kind of fun example of being able to see the amount of fiat currency moving into Bitcoin, which is always growing and growing, as we've seen over the last couple of years, and I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to that right now. So this is something that I wanted to show you as well. This is coinmarketcap.com. We can actually go to the main page. So this basically lists all the cryptocurrencies that are available. Obviously you can see the top cryptocurrencies here, top 5, and Bitcoin being the first. So if we go on to Bitcoin, we can see the market cap is just over $125 billion. And then what I think is interesting, if you go to historical data, and then let's look at the last 12 months. So we can see that it's 125 billion today. And even if we go, what is it, November, let's go to the beginning of the year. So January 1st, it was 15 billion. So 15 billion on January 1st. And then let's go to January, February, March, April, May. Let's go to June. Let's go to June 1st. So now it's 37 billion. Kind of roughly 6 months. 5 or 6 months. And then from 37 billion, let's look at, let's say September 1st. 77 billion. And then let's look at now 125 billion. So that's just an really easy way to look at trends, look at patterns, look at the growth. Even in a year period, going from 15 billion to 125 billion, it's absolutely huge. And trends, patterns, the way they go, if this thing goes to $1 trillion in market cap, it'll be pretty amazing. And with the likes of the Chicago-based exchange, different investment funds, if Wall Street are looking at this, which they are, it's absolutely huge, and it's still an amazing time to get involved with this. And I say this all the time, the amount of people over the last 2.5 years that have said, it's too late to get in. You look at these trends, you look at blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, decentralized assets, and the growth. It's pretty amazing. And I've been fortunate enough to see it grow and be able to profit with it as well, which is an awesome thing. So this is a good site to come to, and you can look at different things, charts, where it's been, where it's gone, the price in US dollars, the market cap at different stages, etc., etc. So this is a cool little tool to use. This is actually a good page too, but we're only going to use 2 things off this. So this is Forbes, and it was basically listing 10 interesting things about Bitcoin, what to look out for. And 2 of the ones that I really like are, this is the number of transactions happening within any one period. And this is over, let's do 2 years. I think this was 2 years. Yeah, so if you look over a 2-year period, 2015 at this point, there was just over 150,000 transactions per day. And now if we look today, there's over 350,000 transactions per day. Obviously it goes up and down, and depending what's happening in the market, etc., etc. But you can see the growth that's been happening. It's very up and down, but it's good to see the amount of transactions in the ecosystem growing and growing. One, as the user base grows, the people who are using cryptocurrency, spending cryptocurrency, and then also the receivers, so people accepting cryptocurrency, people wanting cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, which is good to see. So in a sense, the transaction, the number of these are growing and growing year in and year out. Let's do all time just to see it real quick, because I feel like that's a better representation. Yeah, so from 2009, 115 transactions. Fast forward, 8 years, and you've got over 350,000 transactions. Is big growth. And then similarly, this is the 2 year of the volume of transactions, so the amount of money that's moving in US dollars. So 2 years ago, we can see it was 250 million, around 250 million, just under. And then if we go to today, it's 2.5 billion. Which is immense growth. So we can see the number of transactions and the transaction volume both growing as the ecosystem grows, as with the factors that we've been talking about in this video. So looking at trends, looking at patterns, which I'm big on, because I think that always helps calculated risk in anything that we do, can really help understand where this is going, where it's been, and how we can capitalize on it. So let's just go all time just to look at it for the fun of everything. So it's $0.00. Okay, in 2011 it starts to get some traction. 2013, we're at 11 million. 2016 we're touching a higher 215 million, and then obviously up to now we're seeing 2.5 billion and above. So you can see the rise in this as the ecosystem grows. So I think that's always interesting to look at, and very powerful, a powerful visual to see the number of transactions and the transaction volume growing amongst everything else. Only leads to kind of more confidence in what's happening in this space. So this is one thing that I really like. There's a bunch of different articles on this sort of topic, but a lot of the time Bitcoin is compared to digital gold, mainly because of the fundamentals behind it. So there's only going to be ever so much Bitcoin created. There's only ever going to be so much gold in the world. It's scarce, and there's a process to get it. So in that sense, one's physical and one's digital, but they kind of work on similar principles. Obviously, gold can't move the way that Bitcoin can, in terms of being digital, being able to send it around the world very, very easily. So they have some differences, but in terms of being an amazing hedge against the economy, they have some very similar properties. So right now the gold market is around $7 trillion. Nobody can properly give an exact figure because of the nature of where gold is, and certain people that own it, certain governments that own it, etc., etc. But when we're looking at supply and demand, there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin ever created, and the demand is obviously growing and growing. That's why the price is growing. And if Bitcoin can capture around 5% of the gold market, it'll be worth around $25,000 per coin, just based on market cap, supply and demand, simple economics. And when you think, the gold market is $7 trillion and the Bitcoin market is $125 billion, there's a lot of room for growth. And like I said at the beginning of this video, when Bitcoin reaches, $1 trillion in market cap, it'll be very interesting to see where it is. And like I showed you in this video, when we're looking at the growth, when we're looking at the numbers, the patterns and the trends, this thing isn't just like, oh, there we go, like Bitcoin's growing again, which if you're watching this video and you're on Facebook, Instagram, social media, even different news outlets, the price is often hyped in a sense. And it is a volatile market, but there's a reason for the growth, due to all the factors that we've been talking about in this video. And that's exactly what I wanted to try and get over to you, in terms of you being able to access this information, follow it as it goes, follow the numbers, and really analyze the simple patterns and trends that are happening, and we can capitalize on it in a massive way as you kind of see this transfer of wealth happening, from different markets into the crypto space, the blockchain and decentralized asset space that is growing and growing. So I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you got some value from it, and kind of the websites and the information that I shared with you. If you found value in it, please subscribe to the channel, share it, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts. And if you're wanting to profit from this space and get involved with it, then I can help you with that. Check out the description box below. Sign up for my free newsletter, the latest and greatest on the Bitcoin and crypto space. And then don't hesitate to send me a message too if you have any questions, or you're looking to the best ways to navigate through this industry and to get started. So I'm Sheriff. Thank you for watching this video, and see you on the next one.